All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we are going to be looking at the story of an unyielding dream chaser. Ignite Your Journey.
Ooh, I love that title.
And it's a great title. But it's also, I think, a really fascinating look into how we can kind of achieve our dreams.
Yeah.
No matter how big or how small.
Especially those big ones.
Especially those big ones. So,
Yeah.
we talk a lot on the show about goals.
Yeah.
And goal setting and how to get things done.
Right.
But I think this source really brings something new to the table.
I think so too.
And so I kind of want to start with this idea of resilience.
Yeah.
Right?
Go
Like
ahead.
we all have these dreams, but the road there, it's not always smooth.
Never is.
It's never smooth.
Yeah.
It's bumpy. There's setbacks. How does this source talk about that?
Well, the thing that I really appreciate about this source is that it doesn't try to pretend that those setbacks don't happen.
Right.
I mean, how many times have we heard, just keep your chin up, keep your eye on the prize.
Just visualize it and it'll happen.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah, all that.
And that's not always helpful. It's not always realistic.
It's not.
And so I think this source is really interesting because it kind of leans into that discomfort a little bit.
It does. It says, you know what? You're going to fall flat on your face.
Yeah.
You're going to trip. You're going to stumble.
You're going to want to quit.
Yes, you're going to want to quit.
But it's about how do you
What happens next?
pick yourself back up?
That's what matters.
Yeah. So how does it talk about that? What are some of the things that it suggests?
Well, one of the things that it emphasizes is the idea of transforming those failures into stepping stones.
Okay.
So instead of looking at it as like, oh my gosh, I messed up.
I'm a failure. I'm done.
This is it. This is the end. It's
Yeah.
saying, okay, you messed up. But what can you learn from this?
Okay.
How can you use this to make your next attempt even better?
I love that. It's like that growth mindset idea
Absolutely.
where you're constantly learning
Constantly evolve.
from your mistakes. You're not letting them define you.
Exactly.
It's not the end. It's part of the journey.
It's a part of the process. It's data, right?
I agree.
You learn from that and you keep going. But you're right, that takes resilience.
It does. It takes a lot of resilience.
Yeah.
And I think that ties into really well with the next thing I kind of want to talk about,
Okay.
which is this idea of belief.
Unwavering belief.
Right. And the source talks about this as like this whisper that turns into a roar.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, like it starts small,
Right.
but it grows and it becomes this powerful force that propels you forward.
Especially when you're facing those doubts,
Right. When you're standing at the bottom of that mountain
which we all do, right?
and it looks impossible.
It looks impossible. That's when you need that roar.
Yes. But how do we cultivate that? How do we turn up the volume on that whisper?
Well, the source gets some really cool techniques, actually.
Okay, lay him on me.
Well, one of them is visualization.
Okay.
So it's literally picturing yourself succeeding.
So like close your eyes and imagine you're at the top of the mountain.
Exactly. Feel that sense of accomplishment. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Are there fireworks?
Maybe there are fireworks. What does your success look like?
Yeah.
I love that.
Another technique it talks about is using affirmations.
Oh, affirmations. Okay.
Yeah, so this is about writing down
Okay.
and repeating statements that reinforce your belief in your ability to achieve that dream.
So it's kind of like you're talking to yourself
You're hyping yourself up.
in a positive way.
Exactly. And it's about training your mind to focus on what's possible and not just the obstacles in front of you.
So you're shifting your focus
You're changing your perspective.
from what could go wrong to what could go right.
Exactly. And that can make a huge difference.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And the source also talks about something else that I think is really powerful, and that's the idea of community.
Yes.
Like you can have all the resilience and all the self-belief in the world,
Right.
but sometimes you just need that extra boost.
Absolutely. We're not meant to do it alone.
No, we're not meant to do it alone. So how does the source talk about community and how it plays into this?
Well, it really emphasizes the importance of connecting with like-minded people.
People who get it.
People who get it, people who understand your vision, who support you.
They're your cheerleaders.
Yes, they're your cheerleaders. And they're also there to hold you accountable.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. They're there to say, hey, remember that goal you set? How's it going?
It's like having a built-in support system.
Exactly. And that can be so crucial, especially when you're feeling discouraged.
I think that's so important. And it makes me think about, we've talked about resilience, we've talked about belief, we've talked about community,
Right.
but we haven't really talked about the journey itself,
The process.
the process. Because you can have all of those things,
Uh-huh.
but if you don't pace yourself,
Right.
You're going to burn out
You're going to hit that wall.
before you even get close to the finish line.
Yeah.
So what does the source have to say about that?
Well, it really emphasizes the importance of embracing the journey.
Okay.
It reminds us that achieving big dreams, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
There it is.
There it is.
The marathon, not the sprint.
You got to pace yourself. You have to break down that climb
Into smaller steps.
into manageable stages, set realistic goals.
Celebrate those wins along the way.
Yes, celebrate the small victories.
Because those are important.
They keep you motivated, they keep you moving forward.
And it's not just about reaching the peak.
Right.
It's about enjoying the view as you climb.
Savoring every step.
Exactly. It's about appreciating the journey itself. And remembering that it's okay to pause, catch your breath, maybe adjust your gear along the way.
Absolutely. And sometimes that might even mean asking for help.
Right.
Recognizing that needing support doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're being strategic about your climb.
It's about playing the long game.
It is. It's about the long game.
Okay, so we've got resilience to turn those stumbles into stepping stones. That unyielding belief that fuels us from within, the community that cheers us on, and a focus on embracing the journey,
Not just the destination.
not just the destination.
Yeah.
That feels like a pretty solid toolkit for anyone
It does.
chasing their dreams.
It really does.
So to wrap things up, I'd love to hear from you.
Okay.
What's one thing
Okay.
you want our listeners to take away from this?
Think about your own dream. What does your mountain look like?
Yeah,
And what's one step, just one step,
just one step.
you can take today to start climbing?
Love it. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.